This is Yankees baseball on My 9.
It is the return of CC. It's time for baseball here at Yankee Stadium as My 9 presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays in the middle game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball along with Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Yesterday, another win for the Yankees. They beat the Blue Jays 6-3. So when a loss is had, obviously it's a difficult thing for a team. But then when you lose your best player, it makes it tougher.
Well, the Toronto Blue Jays came into this season with a pretty good team and a pretty good team to compete with. Now they've got injuries. Now they've got a big injury. This is their superstar. This is a guy that's on the 15-day DL. It puts a lot of pressure on this team. Can only hurt. Believe me, there's a lot for the manager, John Farrell, to deal with right now with his injuries.
And then the Yankees got a big blow later on in the game in the 8th inning.
Yeah, I mean, Ronald Bolaños got in a great position, and I tell you what, grand slams, I don't care what league you hit them in, are exciting. You see the bench is excited. This was a big hit, 3-1 fastball, bottom of the 8th, game winner.
Yankees have gotten a lot of production out of their left field platoon. Let's take a look at tonight's pitching matchup. Brought to you by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Brett Cecil, the left-hander, will go for the Blue Jays, 2-1, 6.75. And for the Yankees, CC Sabathia, 9-3, 3.45. He's off the DL, and it's always good to get back your ace, Paul.
Well, I think it takes pressure off everybody. CC Sabathia, when he went on the DL and won 4 out of his last 5 decisions, he is your number one workhorse. He is your number one starter. Everybody else kind of follows in line. CC Sabathia, good to see on the hill. Not knowing if he's on a pitch count tonight, but importantly, he goes out and gets off to a good start.
Well, you know that CC is probably pumped up. This guy has been a horse for the Yankees since they signed him as a free agent. He's given them everything that they could possibly want. CC will tell you how excited he is when we return right here on My 9. Back to CC Sabathia coming off the DL. What has he meant to the Yankees? Take a look at these numbers. Since he's joined the Yankees, he's been their horse. He's done nothing but win, give them innings. Even this year, after the DL stint, he's 9-3 with a 3.45 ERA. And CC was asked what it means to be back.
I'm excited, being able to get a chance to contribute again. We've been playing so well. I just hope I don't go out and mess it up. But I'm excited to get back out there and be able to try to help the team win. It's been tough, but it's been, okay because we've been winning and we've been playing well. I think it's been harder on the training staff to try to keep me from not getting out there and throwing. So I know Stevie will be happy once I get out there.
Yankees have certainly done the job because they've gained ground in the standings without their ace, but Sabathia is back. When we come back, lineups, first pitch baseball coming up next right here on My 9. Ball on My 9 is brought to you in part by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. City, what's your story? City can help write it. And by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed. Internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. Oh, it's a hot one here in New York City. Temperatures today reached the mid-90s. It's humid, but we're ready for baseball at the stadium. Yankees have taken the field. Sabathia taking his warm-ups, and we're taking a look at the Blue Jays starting lineup, brought to you by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. Rajai Davis, the left fielder, leads off. Batting second, playing center field, Colby Rasmus. Brett Lawrie, the third baseman, will hit third. Edwin Encarnacion at first cleans up, batting fifth and DHing Adam Lynn. Yunel Escobar, the shortstop, will bat sixth. The number 7 hitter, right fielder Ben Francisco. Kelly Johnson, the second baseman, hits eighth. And batting ninth and catching, Jeff Mathis. And there's the big left-hander, CC Sabathia. Carsten Charles, his numbers before the DL, 15 starts, 9-3, with a 3.45, a hit per inning. And we'll give you the scouting report in a moment. Let's do it here in New York. And the first pitch is a strike, and we are underway. Let's take a look at the pitcher scouting report brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better: TV, internet, and home phone from Time Warner Cable.
Well, he's a late bloomer, and we'll see what happens here, because part of the scouting report is first inning, 7.8 ERA, after that 2.7. So you got to get him early. Workhorse, everybody knows this. I mean, there's a lot of pitches consecutive, 23 pitches, 23 games consecutive with 100 or more pitches. Well rested. Well, he's 7-1 with extra rest. He's on 22 days rest right now, so we'll see how that goes.
Davis lines one to Cano, so there's one away.
Always kind of hold your breath as a manager and a pitching coach when a guy's been off the hill for 22 days. So he's your horse. He's your number one. You want to see him get off to a good start. Everybody else just kind of files in line. And, you know, the Yankees are playing good baseball right now, and to add him into that can only help.
Well, he was put on the 15-day DL with a left groin strain, and that was on June 28th. He was reinstated to the 25-man roster before this game, and the Yankees optioned Darnell McDonald. So that's how they made room on the roster. Colby Rasmus takes outside 1-0. Yankees with a win yesterday. They took 2 out of 3 against the Angels. Middle game of this 3-game set. Tonight's closed captioning brought to you by the Lexus CT Hybrid, miles from ordinary. There is Jose Bautista. He was put on the 15-day DL. They're calling it inflammation of his wrist, and it's going to be just a matter of how much pain he can take. Even if he played right now, he couldn't hurt it any worse. But the pain is pretty severe, so they did put him on the DL and called up one of their top prospects, Anthony Goes.
Talk about a tale of two teams. The Yankees adding one of their stars back to the team playing well, and a team just trying to hang on through all the injuries, losing their number one hitter in Bautista.
Count 1-2. The Yankees have actually gained ground after losing Sabathia and Andy Pettit. They were 2.5 up in the East. Now they have a 9-game lead over the Orioles and the Red Sox. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, they've pitched well, but I mean, the home runs that they've hit lately, I mean, it's become automatic. They're throwing up runs. They're giving them every day. Freddie Garcia, you see, has stepped back in the rotation, pitched well.
New York Yankees baseball broadcast in Spanish, available by hitting the SAP button on your television. SAP is brought to you by Toyota. When you choose Toyota, you get a lot for less. Toyota. Swing and miss. Got him on my off-speed pitch.
Curveball. And this is the big difference that you see in CC Sabathia. When I faced him just coming into the league, he was a fastball pitcher. Now he's got a good changeup, and he can control that curveball, which absolutely makes it really, really hard for left-handed hitters.
You also wonder, Paul, will the 22 days off rejuvenate him. He's used to pitching all the time, never missing any starts. Maybe he's a little fresher.
Yeah, you know, veteran pitchers especially, I mean, you get rejuvenated, you say, mentally more than physically. I mean, you get so into your 5 days, but mentally that break of not, concentrating and going at it, it can take you through the whole second half of the season.
10 pitches for Sabathia, 8 of them strikes so far with Brett Laurie at the plate.
That's why we take long breaks. It's getting rejuvenated.
Absolutely.
See Brett Laurie, he was the leadoff hitter with Bautista out of the lineup, kind of a mix-up. Put Rajah Davis leading off, and now they put Laurie down in the 3-hole. So, if you're the manager, John Farrell, I mean, you're thinking, what else can happen? You lose 3 of your starters, you've lost your closer, now you lose your #1 hitter. You're in a division now, going into playing in your own division, a tough division in the American League East. Just hit the bat, obviously. Handled the bat.
Knob, yeah. CC said in a BP interview that the 22 days off will mean more for my arm than it does my legs. And Paul also believes something for his mind as well.
Yeah, I think concentration day in and day out, I think you get worn out sometimes. I think pitching's a lot different, obviously, than playing every day because you have that break every 5 days rest.
1-2.
I mean, he's putting together the pretty good at bat here, and he's done well over the year. 343 against lefties this year. Some marks on those arms, doesn't he, Mike?
Done a lot.
It takes a lot of time and effort to get that much ink on, doesn't it?
A lot of ink. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. A good return inning for CC Sabathia. He retires the Blue Jays 1-2-3. It's the Blue Jays nothing. And the Yankees coming back. Turn from CC to Cecil. Now let's see who Cecil is going to face. The Yankees starting lineup brought to you by McDonald's. With the new McDonald's Extra Value Menu, you'll be paying less and tasting more. The captain, the shortstop, Derek Jeter, leads off, batting second and playing center. Curtis Granderson hitting third. Mark Teixeira at first. Alex Rodriguez will DH. He'll bat cleanup. Batting fifth, playing second base, Robinson Cano. Nick Swisher's in right field. He'll bat sixth. Batting seventh, playing left field, Andrew Jones. Jason Nix at third base will hit eighth. And batting ninth and catching, Chris Stewart. And these are the numbers on Cecil. 5 games, 2-1 with a 6.75 ERA. Opponents hitting .295 against him. And let's take a look at the Toronto Blue Jays pitcher scatter report, brought to you by the Lexus CT Hybrid. Miles from ordinary.
Well, they're looking for him to find old form. He was 15-7 in 2010. He's been 6-12 since then. He likes lefties. Lefty hitters are only hitting 167 against Cecil compared to 322 against righties. Unlike CC Sabathia, he's tough early. The opponent's only hitting 151 first time through the lineup.
All right, so he'll face Jeter. Yankees at 55-34. They have the best record in the game. In second place, you'd have the Texas Rangers at 54-35.
Cecil's an interesting thing. I mean, we talked about the scouting board, 15 wins in 2010. I mean, he didn't make the team this year, actually started in Double-A. But, you know, injuries to a lot of their starting rotation. He's getting another opportunity. Used to throw in the mid-90s, a completely different pitcher now. He thought it was because, you know, he had gotten kind of lazy. He's lost close to 40 pounds over the offseason. Trying to bring back his velocity. He's lefty, Mike. You get a lot of chances when you're left-handed.
I wonder why he would lose that much weight if he's going to lose that velocity.
Well, they thought that, you know, it was because he was out of shape and that, you know, he had lost his strength and kind of lost his velocity. He is up a little bit, but not back to the 94, 95 that he was in 2010.
Grounded left side, diving stop by Escobar, gets to his feet, fires, and it's an infield hit for Jeter. Nice play by Escobar, just getting to that ball, but a leadoff single for the captain.
We talked about Escobar's range. He went completely over second base to get a ball last night, and this is just a good play. Obviously no chance to get Jeter. He gets down the line too quick. I'll tell you what, Derek Jeter, ever since he got to the major leagues in 1996, infield hits. He gets out of the box. We said 22 or 23 infield hits. Adds a lot to your average every year.
Here's Granderson.
This is going to be a tough night for Brett Cecil. He's going to have his good stuff, and he's going to have to put it where he wants. And we've talked about it. The mistakes in this ballpark in the last two series haven't been singles. They ended up in the seats. Both teams are hitting pretty well. He's not a guy right now that can dominate by just overpowering people. He's going to have to spot his fastball, keep it down. We've seen anything up in this series has ended up in the seats.
One and two. Night off after hitting the big grand slam, so they sit him down. Ibanez against the left-hander Cecil, but available to pinch hit.
I graded that last night. He's worked the count to 3-1. Frazier, who was on the mound at the time, has no option other than to challenge and just hit a rope out in the right field bleachers.
The 1-2.
Good curveball. You see Curtis Granderson waited so long on that curveball, you almost jammed yourself. Key to hitting lefties is not to commit too early. You see him wait. Almost waited too long, late on a curveball. But looking back at a grand slam, most exciting play in baseball to you?
I think the triple play is pretty neat. I think a bases clearing triple is neat.
Yeah, plays at the plate are always exciting. The grand slam, there's something, I tell you, from a hitter's point of view, it's the most fun.
Especially when it's a tiebreaker or if you're down by 3. Yeah. I think attack on grand slam isn't that great. Unless you're the guy hitting it.
It helps the baseball card. There's no doubt about that.
The 1 year Mattingly had 8.
Yeah, that was
had 6. 6 grand slams in 1 year. That was the year that he hit home runs in 8 straight games. And the amazing thing, those are the only grand slams he ever hit in his career.
But Derek Jeter went years and years before he hit his first grand slam.
He only has that one against the Chicago Cubs. Yep.
3,000 some hits and only one of them is a grand slam. In fact, I think close friend of mine, Barry Larkin, was kind of in the same boat. And Barry Larkin being inducted into the Hall of Fame this weekend. Former shortstop from the Cincinnati Reds. Another shortstop that I got to play with that's going to end up in the Hall of Fame. So.
That one is drilled to right field. And Francisco is there to make the first out. These two teams can hit the ball out, that's for sure. Now let's take a look at tonight's league leaders, brought to you by the New York Lottery. By the New York. That's right, it's not the New York Lottery, the New York. Yankees 144, the Blue Jays 131, and the Orioles and the White Sox. So 3 of the 4 in the American League East.
That's where Brett Cecil needs to be. You see that ball just on the knees, down low. He needs to keep everything. Breaking balls, change-ups, fastballs, everything needs to be down low in that zone. The only problem is Mark Teixeira can handle the ball low. Strength against strength.
Popped up. Could be in no man's land. It is. Francisco had a play to pull. He couldn't get there. And neither Johnson or Encarnacion could. Scored a no play. Strike 3. Teixeira down looking.
Pitch, backdoor curveball, and you know, as a hitter, you look out, you pick up that ball about halfway, and it's outside, and then it breaks in, and you give up on it right there, and then it breaks back. Can't pull the trigger.
Here's Alex Rodriguez. Alex started off the season struggling against lefty pitchers, but he certainly picked it up. 11 hits in his last 27 at-bats against southpaws.
It's a good at-bat for Alex Rodriguez. Cecil doesn't have that ball that can really lock up Alex inside. So we've talked about it, how dangerous he is when he can get his arms extended. That's when he can really drive the ball. And unless you throw mid-90s and can run that ball in on Alex, you know, he's got a good opportunity to get that bat head out and drive it.
Count 2-0.
So that's his changeup, and it's got the same, you know, kind of action that his fastball, his sinker has. But you know, take a little bit off. That's 83 fastball. He pitches at, you know, 88, 89. So those numbers kind of coming up on the left-handers.
Deep at third. And that's where it's hit. Nice play by Laurie. Gets to his feet and fires. And they just get A-Rod as Encarnacion found the bag after the throw pulled him off the bag. Beautiful play by Brett Laurie. For the Yankees, no runs a hit, no errors, and one man left away. He took away a double at least. We go to the second inning. Encarnacion will start it off. Brought to you by Toyota. Would you like to see Major League Baseball expand into other countries beyond Canada? You can vote A, yes, it's time for Central and South America to join MLB. Or B, no, it's our national pastime. Just keep it here. Text A or B to 70377 or go to my9tv.com. Find out the results right after the game. It's Take on Russ, brought to you by Toyota. And Encarnacion swings and misses as we start the second. And it's 0-0 on the scoreboard, brought to you by Cadillac. Visit CadillacTristate.com.
Imagine some of those road trips, huh?
Well, the NFL's considering expanding the That is ripped down the left field line. It's a base hit. It'll go to the wall. Played out there by Jones. Encarnacion will go to second, and he will make it with a leadoff double.
We talked about him last night on just the adjustment he made over the offseason, working with Robbie Cano and his hitting coach. And I'll tell you what, he had 3 bullets last night. I think he woke up with the same stroke today. Just a line drive down the left field line. There's a guy talking about comeback years, just shorter stride, and it just shoots that bat head straight out front, straight to the ball. There's really no hitch to anything now, and it's why he's so quick to the ball.
2 doubles yesterday, 1 today, so he's at second. Here's Adam Lind. And a strike.
So much more pressure now on Lynn and Encarnacion to really pick it up offensively with Bautista. I mean, you've had a tendency to score runs on home runs, a lot like the Yankees, but you just took 27 or 28 of them out of the lineup.
Lined right at Nix. But the key in those situations is not try to do more than you can do. Just do what you can do.
Yeah, and, it's funny because Lynn has good numbers off CC Sabathia being a lefty. Bad luck here. Hits the ball on the nose. Space age helmets now, Michael. See the side vents on there. Everything just keeps progressing in the game.
You look sharp in that. Here's Escobar. Want to know?
That cools you off a little more or something. I don't know.
Might make you faster, aerodynamic.
Yeah.
Popped up.
You're all right, you're all right, you're all right, you're all right.
And Teixeira makes the play for the second half.
CC Sabathia directing traffic from the mound out there, telling me he's all right. He's got plenty of room.
Oh! You're all right, you're all right, you're all right, you're all right.
Get those outs, Michael. You make pitches to get those outs, you want them.
That'll bring up Ben Francisco. He's essentially the guy who's replacing Bautista. He's playing right field, but he's batting 7th, not batting 3rd as Bautista does. Strike. Center field. Grandison puts it away, and the leadoff double is wasted. We're going to go to the second. For the Yanks, it'll be Cano, Swisher, and Jones. No score in the Bronx.
pregame. Then later tomorrow night at 10 o'clock, catch a new GMC Presents Center Stage with Michael Kay, featuring track and field legend Carl Lewis, only on Yes. That's a lot of Michael Kay tomorrow on Yes, you know.
A lot.
I'm just saying, you know. If you don't get a tune in for, you probably get a WB Mason game too if you didn't get enough.
Here's Cano. You can always get too much, I think. Cadillac scoreboard, bottom of the second, 0-0. Cano, Swisher, and Jones. Game hitting streak for Cano. That's the longest of his career. Hitting .321. And it's a 20-game hitting streak for Robinson Cano. Boy, is he locked in.
Michael, you said it. I mean, even his outs have been hard, and it's just, I mean, when he goes to the ballpark and you see those two guys, they worked on hitting all winter. Robbie continues to do what he's done, and he helped him become a better hitter. But as a lefty, to stay on that ball and drive it up the middle. See that big area right there, right up the middle. Good way to hit. Good approach to hit left-handers. Michael, I was doing a little thing, and I'd heard some of this stuff. We have the most interesting man in the world here tonight calling Ted Barrett right behind the plate.
What do you mean the most interesting man?
I'm just going to go through a few things. I mean, he made his major league umpiring debut in 1994. No, I'm just getting warmed up.
Okay.
Behind the plate for both David Cone and Matt Cain's perfect game, making him the only umpire to do 2 perfect games. Also behind the plate for Irving Santana's no-hitter, Greg Maddox's 300th win. He earned a kinesiology degree at Cal State and the captain of the football team. Before umpiring, he was an amateur boxer. He's an ordained minister, earned a degree at Trinity University where he's a doctoral candidate.
He is.
Yeah.
The most interesting man.
Absolutely. And he probably doesn't even drink the Secchi. I don't know.
Count Tuna.
Isn't that amazing?
I never thought that I would live to see the day that you would actually compliment an umpire.
It's just like I mean, when I'm reading through this stuff, I'm like, really? I mean, you're fairly young in life too. You've got a lot of time to accomplish more. It's pretty impressive.
That is pretty impressive. Been around the block. The 2-0. There's a strike.
Our days are good. When you wake up, get a little round of golf in, good workout, a little CrossFit, good meal. It's nothing to Ted Barrett.
That's right. Scratching the surface.
Nothing.
I think I'm having a good day when I wake up.
Yeah. It's because you're married.
That's right.
Waking up and looking at somebody else.
Sometimes I wake up and she's just staring. I just have to say, what did I do?
Like, this is my room. What are you doing here?
Cano leads off first. 2-2 count on Swisher. 3-2.
Swisher, he's one of the few Yankees that's been kind of struggling. In July, hitting 189 and had a big strikeout yesterday, and that's where Raul Ibanez really picked him up and hitting that grand slam. Always helps when you're going through a little tough time when other guys are picking you up. You go home still happy with a big win.
And a walk. So Swisher's been slumping of late. Hitting 7 for 37 in July, but that's his 12th walk in his last 8 games, so that's at least a little bit involved.
That's one thing he does when he's swinging the bat well, or he's not. I mean, he commands understands the strike zone. And he knows what to swing. He will take his walks.
There's a strike.
If you look at it, Andrew Jones got the good roll tonight. He's hitting in the 7 spot in the lineup, which doesn't seem like much, but the 7 spot in the lineup with the Yankees this year, 21 home runs and 72 RBIs from that spot, which usually don't you see that kind of production from the 7 home. Once in a while, there's just a lucky spot in that lineup card. Guy's lining up to hit 7th now.
Pitch outside. Well, we watched Henderson Alvarez yesterday, and now we're watching Brett Cecil today. You wonder if John Farrell, who was a pitching coach with the Red Sox and is now the manager, wants his guys to take a lot of time between pitches to throw off the timing of hitters, because very, very deliberate on the mound. They do not work quickly at all.
Yesterday, Alvarez, I mean, he was slow, but he was only throwing 10, 12 pitches an inning. And now Cecil, you know, he's going into deep counts. He's throwing a lot of pitches, which even makes it worse if you're playing the field behind him.
Two-one. That one's driven deep to left field. There it goes. See ya. A 3-run home run for Andrew Jones. And the Yankees lead 3-0.
And Andrew Jones is kind of your just a guy that you can bring off that has really become a good hitter off lefties. And Cecil is just, you know, kind of nibbling, getting in a hitter's count. And again, it must be that 7 spot. That's 22 home runs and 75 RBIs out of that 7 hole this year for the New York Yankees. Not much doubt. When you hear that sound and you see that ball flying out to the bleachers here, not much doubt where it's going to end up.
41st straight game, the Yankees have scored 3 or more runs in a game.
They took care of it early tonight. Huh?
Yeah, and that is the 2nd longest streak in the history of baseball.
You see those faces in the dugout. I mean, you just look at a confident team. I mean, guys are smiling. Guys are expecting to do well, expecting to score runs. And it's just, it has a lot to say about the way teams play. You take the field expecting to win. You got CC Sabathia. I don't know what Stevie Downey is doing in the background.
The longest streak in a single season of a team scoring 3 or more runs, 48 games by the 1994 Cleveland Indians.
A lot of laughs over there. Boy, it's fun when you're playing well. You've got a lead in the American League East.
Grounded, past the diving Laurie. Knicks will round first. They'll go to second. And he's in there with a double. Still nobody out for the Yanks in the second.
I'll tell you, Laurie, one of the better third basemen in the American League defensively. And he's hit this ball so hard it just gets by him down the line. Joe
Girardi has had a spooky ability to plug in guys, and those guys just make it work. Guys off the bench. Nix comes up with a hit there, and nice plays in the field. He mixes and matches Ibanez and Jones in the outfield. Dwayne Wise gets a start now and then, does a good job. Chris Stewart shows bunt, Takes outside. It's got to be fulfilling for a manager when you use your bench and your bench works. If you take a look at this Yankee team, and you know, just to preface this, nobody's feeling sorry for the Yankees. Runner goes, throw to third, he's out. And that's a bad base running maneuver. You don't make the first out or the third out at third. The only time you try to steal third is if you know you can make it.
Nick's got a decent jump, but you saw Chris Stewart. He did what he was supposed to do. Stand there, make the catcher throw around you. Oh, she got double tag.
It's an old baseball adage, but we should explain. You don't make the first out at third, because if you're at second, you can get to third on an out and you can score on an out. So you're not really gaining anything by trying to steal third there if you're going to get thrown out. You have to make it almost standing up. Fly ball left field. Davis is there. And you don't make the third out at third because you're not really gaining an advantage. Because with 2 outs, you can't score on an out anyway, and a single, you probably could score from second base. And they teach you that in Little League, first or third out, not at third.
So you telling me Nick's missing that class?
Maybe he just thought he had it.
I mean, lefties sometimes you know they're the little, you get a better read from them at second base, and because their back is kind of turned to you.
Now, what were we going to say about the injuries? Sabathia's hurt, or was hurt. Andy Pettit, Jabba Chamberlain in spring training, Mariano Rivera, Brett Gardner. A-Rod's having a little bit of a subpar year for him. Russell Martin's not hitting, and still they have the best record in baseball. Something's going right.
Yeah, and it's every day. The one thing that people complain about is this team only does this or only hits home runs. Well, you know, you're scoring 7-8 runs a game at this pace. Is it going to stop? I don't know. They have those type of hitters in the type of ballpark this year that they can continue to hit these home runs.
There's a strike count, 2-1.
As a fan, though, I mean, when you come to the ballpark, don't you like a home run is an exciting part of the game.
Absolutely. The only question is, can you hit that amount of home runs in the playoffs against good pitching? That's the only question. Grounded to short. Escobar's right there. He gets Jeter, and that will do it. But the Yankees take the lead. A single by Cano, a walk to Swisher, then Andrew Jones hits one in the seats. His 12th home run of the year. Yankees lead 3-0 as we go to the third. also take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Audi, truth in engineering. So a 3-run home run by Andrew Jones has given the Yankees a 3-0 lead. It'll be 8-9-1 in the Blue Jay order against CC Sabathia. There's Kelly Johnson. And he bunts foul.
See, between innings, Stevie Donahue heard Archelica. He ran out there to help Tidberg. Just wanted to talk to him, introduce himself to him. You know?
Got a lot of good stories, I bet. Cano stays with it, makes the play.
Talk about a fielder with soft hands, and you know, a lot of guys kind of stab towards the ball, so if you don't come up to it clean, you know, it'll roll away from you. So Robbie's so soft that it just all doesn't go far from him, and he gives with it. You see, it doesn't catch it cleanly, but if you stab at that ball and it hits off the heel, you know, it kind of ricochets away from you.
Never panicked at all. Must be good to be good. Here's Jeff Mathis. Foul back.
Jeff Mathis has done a good job. He catches Cecil every time he takes the mound now and tries to understands what type of pitcher he is, tries to get him through by not being overpowering.
Sounds like a broken bat. Popped up, shallow center. Coming on Granderson, he makes the play. The My Nine Comedy Club is New York's place for laughs every weeknight, starting at 5 with a full hour of Everybody Loves Raymond, then a King of Queens doubleheader at 6 and 7:30, plus back-to-back episodes of How I Met Your Mother at 6:30 and 7. So don't miss a second of the big laughs every weeknight on My Nine. He's throwing strikes, 29 pitches, 26 of them strikes.
We talked last night a little bit about Toronto, how they come up hacking. They're not letting it. If you throw the ball around the plate, they're not letting it go. There was one inning last night where we got corrected. I think Russell Martin caught one ball. We didn't even think he caught any.
Keep Davis off base. He has 23 stolen bases this season. That's second to Mike Trout. Now, Trout also has another home run today against the Trumbo. I'm sorry, Trumbo has the home run. Trout's the guy who hits home runs and steals bases. Trumbo has 6 home runs in his last 8 games. That's a hot shot past Nix and into the corner. Davis is on second. So yesterday, coming into his at bat in the 7th, he was 0 for 25. And since that time, he's now 3 for his last 4. So turning things around.
Boy, really, it happens like that because it becomes so mental. This ball's hit right on the nose. Nix has no chance down the line. He's one of the guys that can run for the Blue Jays, too. So they do have some options with him.
Marking off a big lead at second. And that brings up Rasmus.
We talked last night. I'm really amazed at the overhead view of Cody Rasmus on how
There goes Davis, and he steals third with 2 outs. And there's no throw. And that's when you do it with 2 outs, when you know you're going to make it.
He's a little cold out there. Got a mitten on his left hand. But just nobody holding him on. Does it make a difference? Yeah, it does, because it puts in your mind as a pitcher that you can't throw the ball in the dirt. And then you put those fingers together to not put them down into the dirt. Keeps you from hurting your hand. But go back to Rasmus. I mean, how ahead of the plate he stands. I've never seen this from a player. Most guys stand in the back of the box just to give yourself a couple more feet. Most guys are back in here. It's amazing. And right on top of the plate.
Now, it makes sense to try to catch the curve before it breaks, but aren't you also victimized by a good fastball?
I never even believed that about the curveball. I just thought by being in the back of the box, it gave you a couple more feet to see the ball. And either way, you have to swing at strikes, but it's where he's comfortable.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. And that'll do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left on base. We're going to the third, bottom of the third. Granderson, Tex, and A-Rod coming up. I-9 is brought to you in part by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. We go to the bottom of the third, 3-0 Yankees. Granderson will lead off. Lined out to right in the first inning.
Better read.
Thank you.
I think you're a Dunkin' Donuts fan as well.
Who is it?
You just got a little. Pick those up at the store. Who goes to the store, by the way? You get up in the morning, walk over to the store.
No, we both do what we have to do. Yeah.
I'm at the store every day. Work out, go to the store, pick up. It's like Green Acres. Mr. Ziffel or something. You walk in the store.
No, Mr. Ziffel had the pig, right?
I don't know. Thought he had a store. I know one thing. When you go, you don't even go down the ketchup mustard aisle, right?
Why?
You are unbelievable.
And the mayo aisle.
What is that? Who even lives through life with never even touching something like that? Don't you realize what the world's getting and you're not?
I'm fine with it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I can live with that. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. And there's one away. Spending some time today with Mariano Rivera at his fundraiser. And he told me, he said that he thought that you had at least 1 or 2 good years left in you when you retired. True or false?
I think at a different level. I don't know about every single day, and I wanted to be every. I just made my mind up. Looking back, I mean, could I have played a role of, you know, maybe platooning or something? I think I could have given an effort. Would I have been good? I don't know. It's easy to talk about now, but you know, for Mariano to say that is very nice.
But did you regret it?
No, I didn't. When I got home, I knew, you know, mentally it was over. I had made my decision, and you know, that was the only World Series we lost.
Right.
And it was just things were changing. Tina was gone, Brocious were gone, and you know, it was just my time. You know, when you scrap to just do everything you can to play, then you know. You also go through a lot of bad times too. I mean, if you're hitting, you know, 240, there's a lot of bad nights when you go home too. It's just not the same.
And every night in the booth is great.
Yeah, I was still learning up here, Michael. I'm not a pro like you.
I made Andy Pettit an offer yesterday.
Yeah.
So I'm in the parking lot. I said, "Come on up." He said, "I'm not doing anything down there."
We might have to get we got a Spanish button. We might have to get a Texas draw button up here, because there's some words that he'll throw out there that you're just not accustomed to hearing.
Here's the 2-2.
Fixing. Have you ever heard that? Fixing to do something?
Sure.
Say that in the Bronx? Fixing?
No. But I've heard it.
Yeah.
It is 2-2. They've corrected the scoreboard. My apologies. And that one is laced into center field. Diving play by Rasmus. He can't hold on. And Teixeira is going for 2. And he'll make it. And they give him a double.
Rasmus makes a good effort, takes a good line to the ball, and he's playing fairly shallow. It's just that, you know, when you're in the outfield with the Blues, see that ball is up. Teixeira lines it into left center. Actually got there, just didn't come up with it. Off the inside of his glove. See Mark Teixeira's eyes, wait, and he thought he caught it. And believe it or not, a good throw would have had him. Ball bounced right back to him.
Here's A-Rod, robbed of an extra base hit. Nice play by Laurie at third. Swings over the breaking ball. Has a modest 3-game hitting streak. Boy, do they take time. We've had so many conferences yesterday with Aaron Sivia. And now Mathis goes out. Obviously, there's a runner at second, so they're trying to change the signs a bit. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees.
These are the times that Alex Rodriguez can really battle, because you look at what he's done with runners in scoring position, and that's one thing that he can improve on in the second half. Comes into this game hitting .210 with runners in scoring position. But he knows he's better than that, and it becomes a mind thing. You start thinking about it too much. And again, this is a good matchup for him. He hit the ball hard the first time. Something off that. That's where Cecil is going to be successful. If he can keep that ball down with a little movement, then he can get some outs. Anytime he elevates it, he takes a little bit off it. Rodriguez step out. I mean, even the players, the hitters, there's nothing worse than getting in, getting ready, and waiting, and you step out, then the pitcher steps off, and it just becomes a long process.
The cat and mouse game here. Count 2-2. There's always such concern about that runner at second stealing signs, and I don't think it happens as frequently as they think it does.
I think pitchers are much more worried than they should be. Obviously, that change the signs, and again, that ball's hit on the nose. Bad luck for Alex Rodriguez. You see his reaction. Really nothing else you can do. You hit the ball right on the nose. Watch him go down the line. And this is how you feel as a hitter. You do everything right, and it's like, yeah, whatever. You feel like that up here, Michael? You get that frustrated?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Bad read or something really gets to you?
A lot of things get to you. So here's Cano. He singled in the second inning. That extended his hitting streak to 20 straight.
What's a long hitting streak for you? 20 or more?
30, I think I really take notice. 25, that's pretty long. Check swing, slow ground ball to Escobar. And they get Cano for the final out. The double by Teixeira is wasted. We're going to go to the fourth inning. 3, 4, and 5 in the Blue Jay order coming up.
Comes the pitch. Strike three. A no-hitter, a perfect game for John Larson.
The greatest closer in history now has the most saves in history.
Fans, come out to Yankee Stadium on Monday, July 30th when the Yankees take on their division rivals, the Orioles. The first 18,000 guests, 21 and older, will receive an insulated can cooler, courtesy of Living Language. The 2012 New York Yankees. Heroes remembered, legends born.
Wireless trivia question brought to you by Verizon 4G LTE, America's fastest 4G network. Here's the question. What former Yankee won 2 games for the Blue Jays in the 1992 World Series?
I know this one, Mike.
You do?
I do.
You sure?
I think I know.
Okay. Well, we'll find out, all of us, in the bottom of the fourth inning. CC Sabathia has a 3-0 lead in his return from the DL. And Brett Lawrie swings and misses.
CC's gone with a lot of breaking balls, and he's had a good curveball tonight. I mean, again, these guys are free swingers. Start that breaking ball in the strike zone and break it out. A lot of swing and strikes tonight.
Lawrie's cutting and slashing right out of the dugout.
A little change up there. Took something off of it. seen CC Sabathia in the old days, you know, just blow people away with 95. It just shows you how much he has evolved as a pitcher. I mean, changeup, curveballs. There's 94 on the inside corner, which is going to set up either a breaking ball or a changeup away. So he's really pitching tonight. And, impressive after 20-some days of rest.
Fly ball, center field, shallow. Coming in is Granderson for the first out. Hitting the road, take the Yankees with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. Here is Edwin Encarnacion. Double to left in the second inning. He was stranded there. 298. Good season. It's been a real good year for him. And we mentioned this yesterday. Signed a 3-year contract extension for $27 million. The first time that you made real big money, could you even believe it?
It is a shock, because I mean, when you grow up, you know, just looking at things like it's amazing. It's just the first time you sign your big contract. It's you know, your dream comes true to get to the major leagues, and all of a sudden, a few years later, that the other dream comes true, and it really is kind of hard to explain.
And that other dream was just setting yourself up forever, setting your family up.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't dream about, you know, making, you know, a lot of money at what you love to do? And it just so happens that, you know, sports is, since Babe Ruth, I guess, has really become one of those avenues.
1-2. 2-2. Fly ball, right center. Swisher's there to make the play for the second out.
Swisher going with a little good luck socks. He's got the high socks tonight. Every once in a while you change things up a little bit. Try to change your luck. Uh-oh, first down.
Oh, so he thought he made a catch. See, that was the sign he made to Granderson, so now it's a first down.
We talked about Adam Lynn last night. I mean, he got off to a horrible start, sent down, called back up, and since he's been called back up, a completely different player. 341 in July. I mean, he came into the month batting 196, so you know he's on his way up. This is after some good years too. And I talked about it again last night. That, I mean, when he was sent down, they actually put him on waivers to the point where if another team would have taken it, they would have given him away. But they bid on it. He's pretty happy about it now that he's come back and hit the ball again. You seem to me, Michael, as a general manager, you'd get rid of some guys real quick, would you?
Not if I owed him money.
It's all about the green dollar.
Absolutely. You got to be smart. That one is lined into right field. Coming on is Swisher. He'll have to play it on a hop, so a base hit for Lynn.
So if a guy stinks, he can't play, but you owe him some money, you're sticking him out.
No, some money is a different story than a lot of money. That must be an awful feeling, though, being in the big leagues for a long time and then being sent down to the minors. That must be an eye-opener.
I went through it. First year I got called up, got sent down, and I'll tell you what, it breaks your heart because you never want to step foot back on a minor league field. And that was just with a little taste of the major league, not like Lynn, who had been up here a few years and put some numbers up. So 2009. This guy hit 300 with 35 home runs and 114 RBIs. A couple of, a few years later, you're in the minor leagues. So, I mean, that's a big adjustment.
After you've been in the show and then you get sent down to the minors, does everybody talk and ask what it's like?
Yeah, I mean, you do go down there, and people want to hear stories, and they don't want to hear stories about you.
Right.
Say I'm a minor leaguer, I come up here for a few days and I go down. They don't want to hear what I did. They want to hear about, what's Derek Jeter like, and what's Robbie Cano like, and what's batting practice like in Yankee Stadium. And it's just, it does become a lot of stories, and that's where it really sinks in. Is like, oh, where have I gone? Because you're back to the bush leagues, and you're back to the bad lights and the bad fields,
bad hotels.
See, he's got a smile on his face now. He's back to the major league.
So when you got sent down, there are a lot of Pete Rose stories. People want to know about Pete Rose. Yeah. 0-2, runner on first. Yankees lead 3-0. The pitch.
That's tough there.
42 strikes, 11 balls. Outstanding ratio for CC. Grounded to Nix. He'll go the short way, get the force, and that will do it. No runs are hit, no errors, and one man left. We're going to go to the bottom of the fourth, and Swisher will lead it off. Trivia question. What former Yankee won 2 games for the Jays in the 92 series? Who do you think it is, Paul?
I'm going to say Jimmy Key.
Wow, look at you.
Coney won some games there, too.
David Cohn pitched there. David Wells, outrighter. In that World Series that the Blue Jays beat the Phillies, Al Leiter, who'd never been up at the plate professionally, got up and hit a double to right center field, and he was going into second base. John Kruk was running behind him, screaming at him, "It's not that easy. It's not that easy."
It's really not surprising that, a pitcher runs into one every once in a while at the plate. And to me, they look more out of place running the bases than they do actually hitting. And Ted, he'll talk to you about his hitting. He's the opposite field hitter. Likes to shoot him left. Not much power, but a slasher.
So that means he's late on the pitch.
A little late. Line drive hitter, though. Doesn't elevate it much. Not much of a base stealer either.
I wonder if the Yankee organization would give him permission to come up here and do an inning. He said he didn't want to do it, and he could come up in uniform.
Any texting down there or something?
No, but the powers that be could tell him to get up there. Look, he's really not doing anything.
Literally, yeah.
(3-2), and Nick Swisher walks again. This Saturday, watch as New Yorkers push their bodies to the limit at the Aquaphor New York City Triathlon. See the best highlights from the race as competitors swim, bike, and run through the city. The Aquaphor New York City Triathlon, more than just a race. It's Saturday afternoon at 2 on Fox 5.
I'll tell you one thing, those people involved in that right now are hoping for a little heat wave to get out of here before Saturday. A brutal day to do it today. You registered in that, Mike?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah?
I've tried to be an athlete. That's my triathlete. Pitch outside. You've never done that, right?
No.
John Flaherty's done it.
Really?
Yeah, he's pretty good. The toughest part for him, he said, is the swimming. Pops it up. Rasmus is there, and he'll put it away for the first out.
You see Cecil, and he's doing everything he can to keep Yankee hitters off balance and keep the ball low. But I mean, you're just seeing full swings. Guys are seeing the ball so well, and it's just like even the outs, they're just missed. This isn't a ball you get jammed with. This is just a full hack and just miss driving it out of here.
3-run home run earlier, and that's the difference in the game right now. 3-0 Yankees, and you hit that in the second inning. Hicks fouls it off.
Is one of those teams that every year, I mean, they're kind of changing their uniforms again. A couple years ago they were in the black, now they're back to the blue. It's one of the cool things about the New York Yankees.
Beautiful push bunt. It's a base hit. So Nick's 2 for 2.
Good push bunt. I mean, all you have to do is beat the pitcher to the base here and make sure that the first baseman has to field the ball. A lot of lefties kind of fall off to the third base side. You see Cecil just late getting over there because of his delivery. Smart play by Nix.
Once you make the first baseman field that, you got a pretty good chance. Let's see if Stewart bunts both of these guys over.
If you're Nix, you're sitting on the bench thinking about that too, because you watch Cecil's delivery and he falls off to the third base side. Really no way for him to stop, pivot, and get over there on a good bunt to cut it off.
Now, of course, Stewart would not be bunting with 1 out, so I apologize for approaching that. Wouldn't make much sense as Mathis goes out to talk with Cecil.
Cecil sporting a pretty cool glove there, huh, Michael? Blue rawhide in there. Black leather.
Nice. Swisher at second, and Nix is at first. 1 man out. Snap throw to second. Hustling back is Swisher. Yankees really have built up a very comfortable lead. At 55-34, they have a 9-game lead over the Orioles and 9.5 over the Red Sox and Rays. Now you just want to guide it home.
The thing is that you can't really, mentally say, hey, that's where we are, because it's so early in the season. But, I mean, you continue to do the thing. You don't even read the papers. You don't even look at the lead. You continue to do what you're doing, and that's showing up, getting your work in, and looking forward to playing that night.
And with the new wild card, it is so imperative to win the division. And you could say, well, they have a 9-game lead. They're at least going to get a wild card. You don't want to get the wild card. You want to be in a playoff series, not that 1-game playoff, to get into the playoff series. You can set up pitching that way.
Yeah, somebody told me yesterday an interesting point. I mean, for a lot of these teams that are, kind of in the wild card, and, would you go out to win the wild card, give up something? And it's hard to think as a team, as an organization, that you could give up a lot to make a wild card, and it comes down to 1 game. You've got a 1-game playoff. What do you lose that 1 game? You mortgage some of your future talent for a 1-game chance.
That's a good point, but again, it's not considered a 1 game. You are in the playoffs, but it's just 1 game to get into the next round. This is the wild card right now. The top 2 teams get in. It'll be the Angels and the Tigers, and half game behind the Orioles, the surprising A's, and the Indians. So the Orioles surprising as well. Yankees will go into Oakland on Thursday for the beginning of a 4-game set.
4-game series are tough. They're very hard because of the night. You're so used to winning 2 out of 3. All of a sudden, it's hard to win 3 out of 4, especially if a team is playing pretty well at home.
And in all reality, you can't get too comfortable in July with a 9-game lead when you consider that the Red Sox blew a 9-game lead in 1 month. And with that 9-game lead that they blew, they ended up losing Terry Francona his job. The same thing happened with the Braves, and that allowed the Cardinals to get in. They ended up winning the World Series. So Stewart has worked the count to 3-2.
Shot right there behind Derek Jeter. Talked to him a little bit before the game.
Popped up. And Encarnacion makes the play for the second out.
Look out for Cecil again. I mean, every inning, if you're Farrell, you can get through and keep this game close. You think that maybe your offense can hit a couple of those home runs. You almost kind of hold your breath because, like I said, the Yankees are taking good swings. It's almost like a matter of time before they tie a few more runs onto this.
There's a strike to Jeter. Count 1-1. Jeter with a single in the first, and then he grounded to short in the second. Yankees lead 3-0 on Andrew Jones' 3-run home run in the second inning. A hot, humid night here in the Bronx. Fouled away.
Ball up. So I mean, you can't pitch up, but if you get it high enough, you can get a strike. And now Derek Jeter, this is a guy that you're still with 2 strikes, and if you're Derek Jeter, you're still very comfortable with, because you know you can fight his fastball off, and you can still take that approach to right center field, which he wants to do. Derek Jeter hitting .387 off lefties this year, so he's been very comfortable.
So Jeter down on strikes. Yankees no runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. We're going to the 5th inning. Bottom third of the order for the Blue Jays coming up. Nissan. Get to Nissan for the biggest savings under the sun at Nissan's Summer Saving Days. Visit ChooseNissan.com or your local Nissan dealer. On July 17, 1941, Joe DiMaggio goes 0 for 3 with a walk in the Yankees' 4-3 win at Cleveland, bringing an end to his 56-game hitting streak. A couple of great plays by the third baseman Ken Keltner. And then, after that, I believe he went on to hit 17 straight more games. 17 more straight games.
I didn't know the story behind that. So he actually hit a few balls hard that could have been hits.
Oh, yeah. Great plays by Kenny Keltner. New York Lottery scoreboard 3-0 Yankees. Nice. Oh, I thought the guy made a nice play. The ball boy missed it. Goes into the crowd. Sorry, I was going to give you props. Scoreboard brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. You think anybody breaks that record? Is that one of the unbreakable records?
I think that'd be very tough. I mean, it's just 56 games. It's amazing. And, you know, with the specialty guys coming out of the pen, sometimes you're facing, 3-4 different pitchers a night. Much tougher to, have 4 good at-bats, 5 good at-bats. CeCe's going to throw that. You don't see that since Little League. You get strike 3, it goes back to the pitcher. Now he's going to throw it around. Thought this was thought it was a ball. There you go, CeCe. Ball down low.
Francisco didn't like it.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, the ball's out of the strikes, and every once in a while they make some mistakes.
And a 1-0.
See, this ball really, it ends up, has a lot of movement on it, but Stewart fires it right back to CeCe thinking it's a ball. There's no doubt that CeCe has his command tonight, and David Cone was unbelievable with that. He could take 2-3 weeks off and come out first game really not miss a thing control-wise. A lot of guys, when they haven't pitched, struggle with their mechanics or their control. That hadn't been the case tonight. CC Sabathia's had a good break. Well, really, he's used all of his pitches, fastball, changeup, and curveball. Rothschild, I'm sure he likes what he sees.
Two. Served into center field, but Granderson there plays shallow, and he makes the play for the second out. So 2 down, and that'll bring up Jeff Mathis.
Every once in a while, a good pitcher can make a team just look like they're down. They've had so many injuries, and yesterday you lose Bautista, and it just looks like the Blue Jays are at the end of their rope as far as, they're taking the field just knowing that. And to me, it looks like they don't expect to win like they did early in the year, and it comes down to reading in the papers every day about losing this guy and losing this. But when you lose your leader, you lose your home run hitter, your ace in the hole, it's tough to overcome mentally for a lot of players that are still on the field.
And a strike.
Still not up here. He didn't get your message, but
nope. .50 strikes out of those 65 pitches. Chopped right side. Cano smoothly over, and he'll make the play for the final out. 1-2-3. Go the Blue Jays. We're halfway through. Yankees lead 3-0. Granderson will lead off. New York Yankees baseball on My 9 is brought to you in part by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better: TV, internet, and home phone from Time Warner Cable, your Tri-State Ford dealers. And by British Airways, to fly, to serve. We talked earlier, you see the New York Lottery scoreboard, Yankees lead 3-0, about how today was the day that DiMaggio's streak was ended. I was just reading up on it between innings, and he had told a couple of teammates afterward that not getting a hit in that game cost him $10,000, which in 1941 was a lot of money for a player, because the Heinz Corporation
57
were going to give him $10,000 because of Heinz 57, and he did not get it thanks to the two great plays at third base by Kenny Keltner. miss.
Just got some stats, and 50 saying there's some guys that get hitting streaks, and they call them vitamin hitting streaks, 1 hit a day, and you hit 280, 250, whatever. During that streak, 91 hits, 408 average, 15 home runs, and 55 RBIs.
Fielded by the shortstop Escobar. They had the shift on, and Granderson is out.
We were talking about it last night, Michael, and that was the summer of 41, right?
Yep.
And Ted Williams hit 408. Was it 403?
406.
406. Okay. So, I mean, what an unbelievable, one of the greatest summers of baseball, not knowing what was to come that year, in December 41. So. Good time on the baseball fields in 1941. Skipping rope in there.
And DiMaggio knew about hitting streaks. In the minors, he had a 61-game hitting streak.
Whatever. I mean, who does this?
Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah. Number 5.
So as we said, after he had the streak snapped, 17 more games in a row after that.
There was an all-star game in between that streak too, I think, right?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I would think so, yeah. People might not know the story, some might. You actually talked on the phone with Ted Williams.
Ted Williams, yeah, I was in spring training, and my sister was doing an article with him, and he called. This is Ted Williams. Yeah, right. Who is this really? And got to talk. It was actually during spring training. Ball, Roy.
True.
And he said, "I hear you're not swinging the bat well," and I said, "Yeah, not really. It's early in spring training." He said, "I bet you're not hitting the ball left field." I said, "I watched your swing. You better start hitting the ball." And it became a neat conversation. And when I finally did hang up the phone, there's just some guys you was like, wow, that was Ted Williams. Still get those feelings when you see, Yogi Berra and Whitey Ford. Right when I got here, taking the field in spring training when Mickey Mantle was still walking around in a uniform. I mean, those guys are just icons of a game that you've watched your whole life. Alex has had 2 good at-bats, and it's frustrating. He's 0 for 2. Both balls hit hard. Don't do this very often, Michael, but if Cecil makes a mistake to this at-bat, I think you're going to get a seat.
All right, let's see. There's
that's where a lot of pitchers try to tie Alex up and get that ball in. That was a good pitch, but he has to be perfect if he tries to get in there because he doesn't throw 95 to get it by him.
the 2-2. And the pitch. Count is full.
It's funny, as a hitter, you see that pitcher ask for a new baseball, and there's a reason for it. Either they want a ball that feels small, where they feel like they can throw a good fastball, or they want a ball that they can feel the seams to throw a good breaking ball. And as a hitter, you're thinking, which one did he want? You're trying to figure out which one he wanted.
That one is drilled out to left center field. And that ball is caught by Rasmus, and that will do it. As the Yankees go down in order, 1-2-3. A-Rod is 0 for 3, but CeCe's up 3-0.
kind of weather it without him for the 3 weeks he was basically gone. I applaud the guys that kind of stepped up, but it's great to have him back. He's been the ace of our staff since he's got here. The wins that he has for our staff, the innings, the quality innings, it's great to have him back.
And so far it's been perfect as he has given the Yankees 5 shutout innings. He's leading 3-0, allowed 3 hits, and looked sharp despite the layoff. And there's a strike to Davis as the 6th inning is underway.
I mean, you look what he done. I mean, that's a sinking fastball right on the outside corner. He's thrown his four-seamer in the mid-90s. He's had a great curveball, a good changeup. I mean, this is just one of those nights where he doesn't look like he's missed a beat.
Long fly ball, left center. Andrew Jones catches up with it for the first out of the 6. As we move along here in the 6th, we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard brought to you by Chase. Take a step forward with Chase Quick Pay by sending money as easily as sending an email. Now, you know who Mike Bonner is, don't you?
Yeah, I was down in Mike Bonner's little cave down there the other day.
For those that come to the stadium, Mike Bonner does an unbelievable job running the scoreboard, and he's got a whole crew there, and they put together all the videos and everything that you see in that presentation. Mike takes care of, but Mike's not here today. Mike is with his wife in the hospital, Mandy, and she's in labor. And he just texted me, he said, you guys are helping her through this because the baby's not quite ready.
Really?
So she's watching Yankee baseball on my 9. So, Mandy, hang in there.
Congratulations. That's awesome, though.
Right in on the hands of Rasmus.
Man, that's one of your favorite songs, Mr. Barry Manilow, right?
Mandy.
Yeah.
That's right.
I might have had one of my first dances to Mandy. Like
really?
In 7th grade, 6th, 7th grade. Yeah.
Obviously a slow dance.
Oh, absolutely. That's why you remember the fast dance when we were doing the bump. You think I'd remember that?
Was it with Neville?
She was at the party, I think. Yeah.
But it wasn't her.
No, it might have been one of her friends or something.
For those that don't know, Paul has been with his wife Neville. They met each other when they were 5.
Yeah, we went to kindergarten together. We lived on the same street.
It's a beautiful Christmas story. It really is.
Not many secrets around our house.
And she's a great lady. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Rasmus down on strikes. All right, let's take a look what the Yankees have ahead of them in July. We told you one more game against the Jays. That's tomorrow. And then 4 games in Oakland against the A's and 3 games in Seattle against the Mariners. That's significant right there because boom, boom, the West Coast is over for the Yankees until the playoffs. And then you have the Red Sox coming into the Bronx and the Orioles. That's July and the first day into August. Season's flying by. Here's Brett Laurie.
Don't tell me summer's going with it. I look forward to summer every year, you know. But you know, you've got a feeling here. I mean, the fans are, you know, they're just enjoying a baseball game. They assume the Yankees are going to win. The players are happy. They're smiling. I mean, it's just the Yankees are in a good place right now. They're just winning games day in and day out. And throughout the, you know, the rest of the season, will they go through a time where they lose some games? Sure they will. But right now, this team is playing as well and as confident as they've been all year.
He's about 80 years of age right there between Ibanez and Pettit. Derek's seen the long seasons since coming up in 95 and coming up to stay in 96. Count 3-1. And the 3-1. 3-2. Boy, does Laurie swing hard.
Yeah, I mean, again, last year he came into the league and defensively he is strong. He's only going to get better, and he's going to be a great player. But they expected him to come out and just have some kind of year. And offensively, he just has not done it to this point. But, you know, he's going to get better. He's young. He's a good prospect.
The 3-2. Missed outside. How about that? That's the first walk.
And it's on a 3-2 changeup. Shows how comfortable CC Sabathia is at this point. And, you know, you wouldn't see this before. I mean, CC Sabathia is at 79 pitches, has been in total control. You see the changeup grip there, and it turns it over a little bit too much. But they obviously know that, you know, it's been 20-some days since he's been on the mound. You get to see the bullpen much earlier tonight than you usually would.
The 0-1. Big cut. 0-2. Encarnacion down on the count.
This is their offense now. Bautista on the bench. I mean, Encarnacion, this is their big bopper. This is their guy that has to come through, and he's hit the ball well this whole series.
Catch by a fan in the stands right behind the on-deck circle.
See that pitch right there, 93 miles an hour. You know, you're in the mid-80s with pitching. So, I mean, he is at his top form. He hasn't lost a thing. I mean, you really can't pick any part of his game tonight where he hasn't, you know, where he shows any kind of rust whatsoever.
Decent numbers against the Sabathia, nothing great. 7 for 27. But sometimes those numbers are a little misleading because he's a different hitter now.
Yeah.
He had struggled for many years, so you can't say, oh, that's what he is, 7 for 27. He's probably a better hitter.
I always heard that our pitching coach in Cincinnati, Stan Williams, tell me that, you know, a hot hitter is better than a good hitter. And, you know, he's been a hot hitter this year. And guys that are swinging the bat well, always going to be your tougher outs.
1-2. Strike 3. Encarnacion down looking. And Sabathia has given the Yankees 6 shutout innings the day he comes off the DL. We go to the bottom of the 6th. Cano leads off. special giveaway when the Yankees take on the Blue Jays. The first 18,000 guests in attendance are going to receive a Mark Teixeira figurine, courtesy of PC Richard & Son. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849.
Michael, did you walk down the tunnel and see the masses and masses of boxes today?
Yes, I did.
Those were the Mark Teixeira figurines.
Did you go rooting through it?
No, I just saw it printed. It was amazing to me. It just looked like a semi-truck just dumped off 4 or 5 loads. They had to go through those boxes, unpack them, and get them ready for tomorrow. I thought I was impressed.
Neatly stacked against the walls. The 0-1. Did they ever make either the Reds or the Yankees a Paul O'Neill bobblehead?
Had a bobblehead, yeah.
You got any of them in the house?
No. Actually, the night they did it was after I retired. It was the first year after I retired. And I remember getting a text or a phone call from Zim. He was on the bench. So they didn't have enough people to give him away. And he was just all over me. It was hilarious. Pouring down rain. It's just typical Zimmer. What are we going to do with all these things?
The 0-2. Grounded foul. Hey, you can say what you want about Brett Cecil's giving up 6 hits, worked slowly, but he's got his team in the game. He made one mistake. He served up the home run, a 3-run shot to Andrew Jones. Otherwise, he's matched Sabathia 0 for 0.
Yeah, he really has. And he's had a decent curveball. Had made too many mistakes out over the middle of the plate. And again, Mathis, we said, catches every game that he pitches, does a really good job behind the plate, calling a game, keeping hitters off balance.
Hammered into right field, and Francisco right there to make the out.
It's a changeup, and you don't see that a lot from left-handed pitchers throwing a lefty, a good hitter like that, because the ball has a tendency to run back into him.
Take a look at the Yankees in-game box score, brought to you by your tri-state area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. Yankees have 6 hits, a single by Jeter, a double by Teixeira. Robinson Cano with a single to extend his hitting streak to 20 straight. Nick Swisher, 2 walks. Andrew Jones, a home run. And Jason Nix, a bunt, single, and a double. And that's the Yankee box score at this point, with 1 out in the 6th. That one is drilled deep to left field. But foul. You know, you could slump, but still contribute. We talked about the walks that Swisher's been able to draw, because in July, his batting average is 189. But with 14 walks, his on-base percentage is 380. He's not hurting the team because he's getting on base.
There's a good changeup. And you know what? Between that changeup and the curveball, he has a pitch that he can use to righties that goes either way. Both off speed. That's actually a curveball. He had a back door. See this bounced pitch.
Sam Dyson is up in the Blue Jay bullpen.
It's a tough take right there. Like I said, you were talking about Nick Swisher will take a walk. See if this pitch is in. Close. It's a short slider. He thrown that curveball, the big one on the outside corner, then you throw that guy that short slider cutter. Good curveball there. And you threw the short slider, now you go back to the big breaking ball, the straight down. Mike Mussina version with the finger up on the scene.
Here's the Yankee offense tonight. Andrew Jones had a 3-run home run in the second. This is the offense for the game, essentially. It's 3-0 Yankees, bottom of the 6th. And strike.
Jones, you see some of the swings, and you look back in the second inning. Fastball outer half. At that point, it looked like the Yankees were going to, have a big offensive night, but Cecil's really settled down. He's pitching away.
Andrew Jones had a pretty good second half of the year last year. A lot of teams would have been interested in having him and maybe have paid him more money than the Yankees. But one of the reasons he came back, had a great relationship with the Yankee batting coach, Kevin Long. And players really like Long. They get along with him, and he speaks their language, and he works hard. And that's one of the things that brought Andrew Jones back to the Yankees, and boy, has he contributed. In fact, in the last 21 games coming into this game, Yankee left fielders hitting .347, 9 homers, and 20 ribbies. Swing and a miss. So that's an impressive 6th inning for Brett Cecil as the Yankees go down in order. In fact, Cecil's retired the last 8 in a row. We're going to the 7th. Adam Lynn will lead off. Yankees up 3-0. Nation is back. Join the country's funniest DJs, including the great Scott and Todd from New York's WPLJ, as they dish on all the hottest celebrity news. So tune into Dish Nation weeknights this fall on My 9. We said nice things about Scott and Todd in the last game, and got a nice text from Todd Pettingill.
Yeah.
Said thank you. They appreciate it.
See that. Some of those shows are funny because you can pick them up on satellite radio now, and you hear. Yeah, I was taking my daughter to school one day, and I heard, bridge traffic, and it's just like, wow, what's going on in New York? And it's cool that you can hear those on the satellite now.
There's the scoreboard, 3-0, and the scoreboard is brought to you by Honda. Find your own great ending at the summer clearance event now at your Honda dealer. Base hit to right field. Adam Lynn 2 for 3.
Adam Lynn had good numbers off CC Sabathia. You see, that's going to be it. And on a normal night, CC Sabathia is not coming out here. He's thrown the ball so well, shows so confident in his bullpen that you're going to save some bullets for his next start.
That's a nice performance by Sabathia. They give him a nice hand, 87 pitches, and he's eligible for the win if the Yankee bullpen does the job. Your tri-state area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. Not too many hits in there. Davis had a double. Rasmus struck out 3 times. A double by Encarnacion. Adam Lynn with a couple singles, and that was a damage against Sabathia. So after a stay on the 15-day DL with a groin injury, he comes back today and does a very, very good job. Time for the call to the bullpen, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed, internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. And here's Cody Epley. Can't complain with anything Epley's done. 31 games, 2.45 ERA, and he has been a revelation for the Yankees.
It's such a fun bullpen for Joe Girardi to go to, because he's got the matchup to the righties, and then he's got the matchup to the lefties. The sidewinders from both sides, Epley and Rapata.
CeCe gave the Yankees 6+ innings, 4 hits. The runner at first, his responsibility. Just 1 walk, 6 strikeouts.
You can't say enough. I think everybody, even guys that have been in the league as long as CeCe Sabathia, still have a little wonder in their minds.
Bunt going to be a tough play. Oh, what a catch there by Teixeira.
You've seen that play so many times. A tough play for first basemen to reach back into the runner.
Oh, that is tough. A lot of first basemen there, and you know this, Paul, get alligator arms because they don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, too many times you see guys reach into the runner with that hand. Teixeira just does a good job of kind of just getting a tag and getting out of there. Back to CeCe. I think that, when you're on the disabled list, you feel good. Even you throw a bullpen. But there's still a little question mark until you get back out in a game situation. And I think he's going to feel good going home tonight knowing that he's back. Like I said, all 4 pitches, his sinker, his fastball, his four-seamer, his cutter, his curveball, and his changeup. He used them all tonight. Just a complete pitching.
And this is the major league debut for young Anthony Gose, who was just brought up today when they put Bautista on the DL. And those are his numbers at AAA Vegas. So he's a left-handed hitter, and Joe Girardi said, okay, I'm going to bring in Boone Logan then. So it'll be Logan against Gose. If they let Gose hit, this is his first big league at bat. Good job by Epley. He gets 1 out. at Tri-State Ford dealers, and the drive of the game was by Michael Fast. Who's Michael Fast? He won a contest to win a 2013 Yankees edition Ford Escape, and he was presented with the car by Derek Jeter. Derek signed the dashboard, and Michael Fast is our drive of the game as he drives away with a brand new Yankees edition Ford Escape. Nice deal. That is our drive of the game. All right, here's Boone Logan, his 45th game. Now, as he's warming up, I sometimes come to Paul when I have questions. The official scorer just gave Yunel Escobar a sacrifice bunt. They're down 3-0. Why would he sacrifice to move him on to second? Obviously, he was bunting for a hit.
Yeah, that's it was just, I mean, in the old days, it was automatic. If you got the guy over, but hit or not, it was a sacrifice. But sure, the intent has to be taken. You're right. When you're up 3 runs, you're not trying to sacrifice a guy over. I was just looking at that escape on the field. We get little escapes up here. Do you see these?
These are nice.
Huh?
Very nice. So here's Anthony Goes. This is his major league debut. And the Blue Jays have always loved him. He used to be in the Philly farm system. They tried to get him in the Halladay deal. They couldn't. Then the Phillies ended up trading him in the Oswald deal to the Astros. And then the Blue Jays got him from the Astros. And here he is in his major league debut. Pitch outside. That young man's heart must be beating a little quicker.
Tell you what, it had such a long time to wait, because you wait, you know, you're on the on-deck circle, you think you might get a chance to hit off a righty, and all of a sudden they bring a lefty in, and you're watching him warm up, and so many thoughts are going through your head because you have that extra time.
Chad Paul's warming up. Now, Goes is going to play tomorrow in right field, and he supposedly has a howitzer for an arm and is a center fielder by trade. In high school, he had a fastball clocked at 97 miles an hour. 1-1. Missed outside, 2-1. Over the mound, Jeter's there, and he gets the hustling Goes for the second out as Lynn moves to third.
It's funny, everybody that ever played this game, you only get one first at bat, and this is the memory. You know, I chopped one up the middle. Derek Jeter threw me out by 2 steps. Not a guy that ever put on a Major League Baseball uniform that can't tell you, count what happened, situation, everything in that first at bat.
What were the details on yours?
First pitch, I hit a ball into right center. Literally should have been a double. My legs didn't work. You know, rounded first, got a hit on the first pitch though. But it was a night in St. Louis. Didn't think I was going to play. People always told me, you know, they were going to play. I'm thinking, but it went into extra innings and ended up getting to that bat.
Who was it against?
Jeff Lottie. He was one of their bullpen guys.
Pitch to Kelly Johnson's a strike. He's got that one under his belt. Now he will play tomorrow and feel a little less stress and anxiety.
Better job this year against lefties, and a lot has to do with the way he's using his curveball. You know, he used to really come after lefties with fastballs and then try to put away guys with the curveball. Now he'll throw that early in the count, get a lot of swings and misses, and now at this point 0-2 he can use either.
Ground ball to second. Cano is there, and the Yankee bullpen does a nice job to throw up a 0 here in the 7th. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left. So CC still in line for his 10th win. It's time for the 7th inning stretch at the stadium. Yankees lead 3-0, but we will stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
And offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now, join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
Three nothing as we go to the bottom of the seventh inning. Anthony Goes, who pinch hit for Francisco, stays in to play right field. Remember, he has a great arm. Sam Dyson has a pretty good arm as he takes over for Brett Cecil here in the seventh. This will be his second game. He's pitched the third of an inning. Registered a walk and a strikeout.
Pretty good numbers for the end of July.
He's well rested. I made a mistake yesterday that has been bugging me since I made it. We talked about Darren Oliver, the veteran lefty in the bullpen, and you said his dad was a pretty good hitter, and I said Al Oliver. Then I got an email when I got home, and I looked it up. It's not Al Oliver, it's Bob Oliver. So I made a mistake, and I apologize. So Bob Oliver is Darren's dad. He was a pretty good hitter.
Yeah.
So I got that out of the way. Now I can sleep better tonight.
Those things really eat at you.
They really bother me.
There's Darren Oliver.
Been around a while.
Yes, he has.
Honda scoreboard, it's 3-0. Yankees over the Blue Jays.
Well, the starters are out. Both of them did a great job. CC Sabathia in his comeback start did a great job. Brett Cecil, on the other hand, gave up a 3-run homer, but other than that, really settled down and pitched well.
Here's Nix. He's 2 for 2. Nix had a double to left and then a push bunt single in the fourth. The double came in the second. Here's what the starters did. Both lasted 6 innings. Cecil with 6 hits, Sabathia 4. 3 runs for Cecil as he made that one mistake to Andrew Jones. And Sabathia gave 6 shutout innings to the Yanks. How about that? 3 for 3 off the bench for Jason Hicks. Fans, now's your chance to take on Russ, brought to you by Toyota. Would you like to see Major League Baseball expand into other countries beyond Canada? You can vote A, yes, it's time for Central and South America to join Major League Baseball. And B, no, it's our national pastime, just keep it here. Text A or B to 70377. Or go to my9tv.com, find out the results right after the game. It's Take on Russ, brought to you by Toyota.
You got a feeling on how that vote's going to come out?
I think it's ridiculous. Keep it here. It's our national pastime. I mean, this is a melting pot, all the people that play the game. Right. So whatever works. I just think travel plays into stuff like that.
Yeah, it does. But how about, I mean, Central, I mean, you talk about Latin countries. Would they want to be on Latin teams, or would they still want to play for the New York Yankees? You know, it'd be kind of weird.
Bunted by Stewart, and it's a foul ball. I don't know if that would play. I mean, guys in California want to play for the Yankees. They don't have to play for the Dodgers, or guys in New York might want to play for the Texas Rangers. I think you go where the getting's good.
You know, CC Sabathia had such control of this game that you almost you're sitting back, relaxed. You feel like it's a blowout, but you see we're still trying to bunt runners over. And Chris Stewart, I mean, it's a 3-0 game. I mean, a lot can happen in a few innings in a 3-0 game.
The 0-1. Bunt was off, and he fouled that one back.
See that movement from Dyson. That ball moved a couple feet. A 92-mile-an-hour fastball in on his hands. Tough pitch to handle. Just keeps coming in on you as a hitter. You can't see you're frustrated to hit your barrel. You just cannot get the bat out of the way.
The 0-2. Chopped to third. Off the glove of Lowry and down the left field line. It's going to hug the wall. Heading home is Nix. Here he comes, and he will make it. Moving to third is Stewart, and he will get there as the Yankees have a 4-0 lead.
Stewart, good job of base running there. Kind of picked up. And Brett Lowry, we talked about how good he is defensively. And it's a tough play on him. I mean, he got a kind of an in-between hop going down the line. You see he gets over there and gets a short hop. It looked like it stayed down on him a little bit. But then on the cutoff on the relay, you see that came in also, and it allowed Stewart got a good read on it. Lowry couldn't come up with that. Ends up at third base. See, the relay here wasn't handled either, which allowed Stewart to take another base.
Well, that's going to be a double and an RBI, and somebody gets an error. Left fielder. All right, the left fielder gets the error, so it's an E7, allowing him to move to third. Base hit. Scoring is Stewart. Jeter's going for 2. And he is going to make it as Goes gets the ball in. And the Yankees lead 5-0.
I'm talking about a young kid that has never stepped foot on a major league field. And, you don't know the caroms and the things that happen in Yankee Stadium. And Derek Jeter made a big turn. And then you kind of read what happens. You see this ball gets by him, cruises into left. And that's just not knowing the park that you're playing in right there. Big run there, Michael. That couple runs they picked up here gives you that 5-run lead.
Now a trip to the mound by Bruce Walton, the pitching coach.
Now, Michael, before we were talking about things you don't eat, I just got it in my ear. I mean, you're weirder than I thought you were. You don't eat soup. You don't eat eggs. What do you eat?
Steak.
Chicken. So basically, you go to the grocery or the butcher shop. You don't eat anything else.
Pretty much. That's what they're telling you in your ear in the 7th inning of the game. Nice. Here's Granderson with a runner on second. So Jeter is 2 for 4 tonight.
You're mad at the truck now, you're telling me.
That's a base hit to left field off the bat of Granderson. Jeter will stop at third. And the Yankees have runners on first and third and nobody out.
In this offense, I mean, you almost look at 3 runs. I mean, you know they have a record going, but you look at 3 runs as kind of an off night now. These guys are hitting home runs, getting base hits. I'll tell you what, if you get guys in this lineup doing things like this, hitting the ball the other way with men in scoring position, no telling how many runs this team can score.
Tough night for John Farrell's team. And now here's Teixeira with runners on first and third. Blocked there by Mathis.
Sometimes does that happen? You know, Stewart gets the bunt sign. He doesn't get it down. Gets to a 2-strike count, and you end up hitting a double, driving in a run, then scoring a run. It's almost like as a player, when you don't get that bunt down, you didn't get your job, but you know, you really dig in to try to make up for it with a hit.
Count 2-0.
Tyson's really struggling, and when he's in the strike zone, it's over the middle of the plate, and then he's having trouble locating all of his pitches.
Aaron Luke is ready in the bullpen. He'll come in for Cano. A-Rod's on deck. Count 3-1. 5-0 Yankees as they look for more. And that loads the bases for A-Rod. Alex Rodriguez is tied for the all-time lead with Lou Gehrig, 23 grand slams. Today with an 0 for 3. Jeter's at third, Granderson at second, and Teixeira is at first.
It's one of those nights, too, because Alex has hit the ball hard 3 times, had good at-bats.
Line drive and knocked down by the second baseman Johnson. They will get the first at third. Scoring is Jeter, so A-Rod gets a ribby, and the Yankees lead 6-0. So the shift worked there.
I'll tell you one thing. You hit the ball hard 4 times as a hitter like Alex has tonight. You expect a little bit more than an 0 for 4. This ball, again, hit on the nose, but you're right, Michael, that shift.
Well, John Farrell is going to go to the bullpen. He will bring in Luke, the lefty, to face Cano. Yankees have runners on first and second, and they are up 6-0. Still just 1 out. We'll give you the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by the Hyundai Fuel Efficient Drive Sales Event. Blue Jays trying to stop the bleeding, so they bring in Aaron Loop, their left-hander. One of their 2 left-handers in the bullpen. They will face Cano.
Loop in last night as a lefty, kind of a side armor, but throws pretty hard. Low to mid 90s from there.
He's a spectator for the next 15 days. Jose Bautista was put on the DL after injuring his left wrist on a swing yesterday. And that doesn't hurt the Toronto Blue Jays for sure. Right in the middle of their lineup, all those home runs.
You talk about ligament damage, and that's the thing. You don't know how long these things take to heal. And anytime it's with the wrist or the hand, those are the important things that you take up to the plate with you, attach to that bat. And he's such a good hitter, and he gets so much bat speed with quick hands that, again, you don't know if it's going to be 15 days or 2 or 3 weeks or what it's going to be.
Fouled away. Well, we had thought when he injured it that it could be the hamate bone, which is about 6 to 8 weeks after they take it out. So we've been told that this injury is really a pain management injury. It can't hurt it worse, but it's very painful to swing the bat. So when that pain starts to subside, you can go from there.
I was talking to John Farrell around the batting cage today and asked, has he ever had problems like this before?
Cano wraps one to center field as Rasmus puts it away.
And the answer was no. That, this is just something that came up. It's nothing he's been nursing.
Take a look at some news and notes from around Major League Baseball when it comes to injuries. David Ortiz was hobbling around the bases yesterday, and he's out at least a week with an Achilles problem. This is a killer for the Reds. Joey Votto placed on the 15-day DL with knee surgery. He's going to be out longer than that, 3 to 4 weeks. And Halladay was activated from the DL, and he's going to start tonight against the Dodgers. First and second now, 2 outs. Here's Nick Swisher.
The Reds just had a big series where they swept the St. Louis Cardinals over the weekend, and all of a sudden you think everything's going well, and you come down with a big injury like that. But Aroldis Chapman has been the talk around the town, throwing in the hundreds, doing a good job as a closer. Got to look at him when he was in Yankee Stadium, didn't you, Michael? Hard throwing lefty.
Drew Carpenter up. The 2-0. Grounded to third. Foul ball.
It's funny. You see Brett Laurie, when he caught that ball, he checked with the umpire. Most guys just go through with the play. He caught the ball and just gave the umpire a little glimpse to see if it was fair or foul. Tim McClellan gave him the foul sign.
Two and two.
Those guys just go through the play. You see, he makes the play, turns ahead to get the call before he makes the throw. That's how you say when you're on, Mike. Tim McClellan gave him a quick call last night. Remember how slow he is giving that ball a strike behind the plate.
He's quicker on the bases than he is behind the plate. 2-2. Ground ball is short. Escobar's there. He'll go the short way, and that will do it. But the Yankees get 3 runs, take a 6-0 lead. A double by Chris Stewart, just under the glove of Laurie. That scored 1. And Derek Jeter fights one off the other way. Another double, another ribby. A 6-0 Yankee lead.
Don Larson wants to sell his uniform from his perfect game in the 1956 World Series on the Verizon. See, I'm struggling.
You really are. 2 days in a row.
Flyers game wrap-up tonight on the 10 o'clock news on My 9. I know the answer to this, too, but I'm not going to tell you, Mike.
I know the answer, too.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah, you got to stay tuned. Here's Chad Qualls. As the Yankees bringing another relief pitcher. Epley and Logan got the 3 outs in the 7th, and those are the numbers on Qualls. Is it the heat, you think, Paul, with the misreads?
I don't know what it is, man. You're laying a lot on me. I think that's it. We're down to a 2-man booth. Late in the game.
Could be.
Still shaking my head about all these things you don't buy and eat. Got me confused up there.
I buy them. Jody eats them. I just don't.
I got another nugget. You don't eat bananas. Who doesn't eat bananas?
Never had a banana.
What's wrong with you?
There's a lot.
You ever had banana ice cream and shake nothing?
No.
You got some time left. You better get out there and get some of this stuff done.
Never had an egg.
You can't even say that with a straight face.
It's true. Never had an egg. There's a strike.
I'll start bringing this stuff to the booth. You know that?
I won't try it.
I'll force feed you.
I'm 51. What, are you going to hold me down?
I'll headlock you, throw a banana in your mouth. I don't care.
Foul back by Mathis.
I just got a text, Michael, from my daughter, who is here with all of her friends, and my wife took them to a show tonight. Rave reviews for Bring It On there at the show tonight.
Really?
Yeah, have you heard of that?
Nope.
She's like a cheerleader dancer, so that was really her thing. Said it was excellent.
That one is drilled deep to left field. Giving chase is Jones. He's not going to get there. That's going to be one hop over the wall and into the Blue Jay bullpen. So a double for Mathis.
You know, Mathis, like Stewart, does a good job. I mean, he calls a great game. He said that he does all of Cecil's games, and he's done some good things offensively. He comes into the game 5 home runs. I mean, he's done a good job as a backup catcher. All hammered at left center field.
So here's Davis. Davis 1 for 3. Foul ball. Davis lined out to Cano to start the game. Then he doubled to left, stole third. That was in the third, and then fly to left in the 6th. Fly ball, right center, and Granderson is there. He'll make the catch. Mathis tags. He'll go to third. So 1 out.
So Joe Girardi's going to stay with Qualls, and this has been one of the things he really needs to work on coming out of the bullpen, because you hate to just match up every time you bring in somebody. But Qualls has had a big trouble getting left-handed hitters out. 367 lefties hit off of Qualls.
Here's Rasmus with a runner on third. Infield, of course, is back, except at third. Nix is up. Fly ball left field. Jones will make the catch. Mathis tags. He'll score. A sac fly for Rasmus. And the Blue Jays are on the board at 6-1 innings.
Think about a weird stat last night. You would never think about that. Rasmus with another RBI is 55th for the year. Leads All-American League center fielders in RBIs. Curtis Granderson would be your natural pick with the number of home runs.
So the 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning loom large for the Yankees. Is now 6-1. And the pitch to Laurie is outside 1-0. Fastball inside 1-1.
You see the movement of that fastball, why he's so much better against righties. Everything runs in on their hands. Tough pitch to hit where, you know, it kind of runs to the barrel of the lefties where they get better look at it.
Harry Rothschild talking to Mike Harkey out in the bullpen.
lonely bench over there tonight. Empty bench. You don't see them very often. Everybody up.
David Robertson's up. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Cordero up.
Got an out last night. Got him back after, if they get back in this game with a couple hits.
Did he go? Yes, he did. Marvin Hudson punches him out, and that'll do it here in the 8th. Well, the Blue Jays get on the board, 1 run, 1 hit, and nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Andrew Jones will lead it off. On 6-1, and the Blue Jays will bring in Francisco Cordero. This is his 41st game, 48 hits in 33 1/3 innings. Not too many strikeouts. Look at the opponent's batting average against, 348.
Closer in Cincinnati, so you know that he has good stuff. They bring him over here. You know, you don't bring closers over unless you have an opportunity to win. So they brought him in thinking he was going to be a big part of the puzzle, and has struggled a little bit.
Struggled so much that Casey Jansen is closing for them. He's done a very good job.
It's a guy you're paying $4.5 million to set up. Again, you don't do that on teams unless you think you can win coming into the year.
Dwayne Wise pinch hitting for Jones pops up, and Escobar makes the play, 1 away. And that's going to bring up Jason Nix, who's had a very, very nice night. A double upon single, another single, and a run scored.
Hey, when you leave today, you're coming from Manhattan, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was the traffic just unbelievable?
No.
It was easy for you?
Yeah.
I got into the George Washington thing today. I heard they were going to do construction. Well, it hit home today.
Well, if you're expecting traffic to go on, you can come stay with us.
Really?
Sure, we have the extra room.
Yeah?
Absolutely. We'll come here early in the morning, get some breakfast for you, some condiments.
I know we're not having eggs, that's for sure.
You wanted to see the terrace. On the terrace, we'll give you eggs. carefully crafted beard he's got. That cannot be easy to keep. It's not beard, it's not goatee, it's everything.
You got a name for that?
Looks like a chin strap. It's not a Van Dyke. The 0-2. 1-2. Strike three.
Knicks had a good night, but he got caught looking there. Cordero, again, he has closer stuff when he can throw his strikes. Locks him up on this outside fastball. This ball away a little bit.
Yep.
I don't care what the score is. I mean, if you're a player, that pitch right there kind of irritates you, especially when you're a guy who's having a good night. You don't get a lot of opportunities.
But you do not, under any circumstances, argue with the most interesting man in the world.
Absolutely. Especially when he was a former boxer. Might duke you on the way back to the dugout.
That's Ted Barrett, the home plate umpire.
We went through his resume earlier in the game, but it wouldn't fit on the screen, so we just had to talk about it.
Home plate umpire for 2 perfect games. One and 2 on Stewart. A lot of teams need bullpen help, and a guy like Cordero, if the Blue Jays say, you know what, we're out of it, they could get somebody for Cordero because he does have a history of being effective out of the bullpen. And that's what teams are going to have to decide as we move forward here, because with the extra wild card, are you out of it or are you within striking distance? Because now there's one more spot that you could grab. So a lot of teams that might be sellers now might just hold on. They might not be buyers, but they might not give stuff away.
And it's amazing how many teams you bring in the mix when you add one more wild card. I mean, you're talking about 5 or 6 teams within a game and a half in July, where usually by now, you know, your division leaders have kind of separated a little bit, and then there's a couple teams in between in each division that still have a chance for the wild card. But this is really adding a lot of teams.
Fly ball, shallow center. Rasmus is there, and Cordero works a 1-2-3. 8th inning. Last licks coming up for the Blue Jays. Yankees lead 6-1.
Is brought to you in part by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Prudential, bring your challenges. And by Audi, truth in engineering.
When you say that, just because I mispronounced a word last night, that's all right.
You had some trouble with Audi last night, that's all. All right, we go to the 9th inning. Dwayne Wise takes over in left field for Andrew Jones. He had pinch hit for Jones. And they still have Chad Qualls out on the mound. Another impressive rehab performance today by Jabba Chamberlain. And he's getting close. He's getting close.
Throwing hard,
he looks
too.
really good, yeah.
It's not like he's just getting outs down there. You know, he's throwing hard. That's exciting to throw another power arm in this bullpen.
All right, last chance for the Jays, starting off with Edwin Encarnacion. One and 0. In his outing today, he was clocked at 98 miles an hour.
I mean, that's back to the days where he just broke in up here and brought a lot of excitement to the Yankee fans.
Many people thought when he suffered the injury, his season was over. Some people made some dire predictions that his career could be over. And he long contended, I will be back. I'll be back this year. And he told Joe Girardi as much. And barring any setbacks, it looks like he's going to be right. And remember, the injury to the ankle gave the elbow more time to heal after the Tommy John surgery. So his arm is in good shape. Outside. Hammered into left center field. That sounds like a hit, and it is. It goes up against the wall. Encarnacion with his 4th double of the series.
Tonight after the game, a piece of Yankees history on the auction block. Why Don Larson wants to sell the uniform from his famous perfect game in the 1956 World Series. On the Verizon Fios game wrap-up tonight on the 10 o'clock news on My 9. Yes!
You nailed it.
Michael, for the fans out there, said I was 0 for 4 tonight, and I just ended up with a hit.
That's a nice hit, too.
1 for 5. That'll you sleep better.
That's right. I think it carries into tomorrow's
Carry it
broadcast.
right over into tomorrow. Sleep fast and get here early tomorrow, Mike.
Here's Adam Lynn with a runner on second base. Nobody out. Count 1-0. Clay Rapata's ready. Stewart wants to talk with Qualls.
That's tight.
The double by Encarnacion, the Blue Jays' 6th hit of the night. And the count 3-0 to Lynn.
Now, we talked about Lynn earlier in the year being sent down, and there was so much movement because of it. He was overstriding, and when you overstride, especially as a big guy, you have trouble, keeping everything together balance-wise. And you'll see that's been a major adjustment for him when you come back. That's the one thing I see, that his stride is so much shorter. He's not lunging way out there, which kind of just throws you towards the pitcher. It's a bit of time to see the ball.
Ground ball to Teixeira, and he flips the Qualls for the first out as Encarnacion moves to third.
He gave himself a chance. See how nice and smooth it is? There's not a big separation where you have a huge weight transfer where you just can't get it all together.
Here's Yunel Escobar, 0 for 2. He was credited with a sacked bunt in the 7th inning when he was bunting for a hit. Count 1-0.
If you think about the last 2 games, I mean, he's hit 4, 5, 6 balls right on the nose. A couple of them caught, most of them for doubles. He's become a good hitter over an offseason of just working with a guy, shortening up his stride, and absolutely having a great year.
Count 3-0. Ball's really struggling. And there's a strike. And the 3-1. And he walked him. And Joe's already seen enough. Qualls gave up a run in the 8th. He's given up a double and a walk here in the 9th. And Joe's going to the pen. Doesn't want to have this get any closer. He's going to bring in the left-hander Rapata. Rapata, their 5th pitcher of the night. And he's had a good year for them. This is his 42nd game. 14 hits in 24 and 2/3 innings. Great numbers. 14 walks, 23 strikeouts. Opponents hitting 171 against him. And he is tough on lefties. And now he's going to face a young left-hander in only his 2nd big league at bat.
Poor guy's thinking, does this league have any righties? Especially when he sees the release point of Clay Rapata. But you're right, Michael. These at-bats will help him in tomorrow's game where he gets his first start.
So goes in his first big league at bat against Boone Logan, grounded to short. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Yankees lead 6-1, top of the 9th inning. Shows bunt, takes inside. Encarnacion is at 3rd, and Escobar is at 1st. 1 man out. And he kind of half bunts. And he gets a base hit because Rapata looked at second, didn't throw, fired to first, and that's the first big league hit for Goes. They'll throw that ball to the dugout.
Oh, wow. Because off the bat, as a runner, you're thinking, uh-oh, I got to dig this out. This might be a double play because he bunted it hard. But you know what? Any way you can get in that hit column, somebody in the stands wants the ball. I don't think so.
We have seen Clay Rapata lose a game for the Yankees because he couldn't make a throw to second base. So he's probably not the slickest fielder, and that was probably what was going through his head when he looked at second base. But that look at second cost him Goes. Now Joe Girardi said, well, that's enough for Rapata because this is a save situation right now. Bases loaded. That means the tying run is on deck. So they're going to bring in the closer, Rafael Soriano. Try to hold on and put this one away. They lead 6-1. I really don't think you're going to be bringing in your closer. You figure you could give Soriano a night off, but not the case. Bases loaded with Blue Jays. Yankees lead 6-1, so they bring in their closer, Rafael Soriano, and he's done a very good job. He's blown one save opportunity, 23 out of 24, and the other numbers, well, they speak for themselves.
Michael, we talked about it. He's thrown a lot, and ever since the All-Star break, these games have been close, and they're save situations, and he keeps doing the job. But every once in a while, you're right. In a 6-1 game, you would think that you could give your closer a night off.
Encarnacion, Escobar, and Goes. And there's a strike to the pinch hitter, J.P. Arancibia. Yankees trying to hold on. And another strike. Great numbers with the bases loaded. Not much of a sample size, but 5 for 14 with a grand slam. The 0-2. Fouled away.
Soriano's gone with all fastballs. bat. In the back of your mind as a hitter, you think, you know what, I've seen a lot of heaters. Sooner or later, he's going to drop that little breaking ball on me. Goes back with the fastball again. Getting serious now. Throw your glasses back on. What's up? Huh?
The 0-2. Lined right at Teixeira. It's a game-ending double play. And the Yankees win 6-1. So another save for Soriano. Aaron Sibia hit it right on the screws, but right at Teixeira, who goes to the bag for the game-ending, unassisted double play.
Again, you can't do much else coming off the bench. Put it in play, hit it hard. Mark Teixeira had it played right. Bad break.
And the kid gets tagged out. A very eventful first big league game for Anthony Goes. He's tagged out as the final out of the game, and the Yankees hold on for a 6-1 victory. They're 4-1 so far on this homestand, and the last game is tomorrow afternoon as the Yankees will try to sweep the Toronto Blue Jays. We got a lot of awards to give out. Maybe that guy's going to get one of them. A big 3-run home run for the Yankees by Andrew Jones in the second inning. But you got to stick around to see who wins the hardware.